when Joe Biden was replaced by Kamala Harris, she got an instant honeymoon, a boost. It put her 4 percentage points ahead of Trump. That honeymoon hasn't lasted long. And what we now have in terms of pollsters, they put Trump 2 percentage points behind now. In general, Republicans don't need a popular majority. This is not a direct election. What we're dealing with here is an electoral college, is a vote by states. There's a lot of smaller states in terms of population, not territorial size, that are so-called red states, i.e. Republican states. So, of course, what matters, these so-called swing states, bookies know a thing or two about politics. They now give Trump a 4 to 7 chance of winning. A 63.6% chance of winning. Cautiously, you can talk about the likelihood now of a Trump victory. Not the certainty, but the likelihood. Now, when it comes to Ukraine, that could matter big time because Trump has at least promised to end the war within 24 hours. I don't think that will happen, but it's quite conceivable that before he's actually sworn in January next year, and he's already doing conference calls with Russian, Ukrainian, and US officials who will staff his future administration. And one would guess that such a peace deal would involve land for land. You know, you've got to bring both sides together. Trump has the ultimate weapon against Zelensky if he sort of dug his heels in, and that is we switch the tap off. We switch the tap off financially, we switch the tap off in terms of military supplies, and we tell our allies to exactly do that. Now, that could lead you, and again, pure speculation, but it's why things are so unsure at the present, that quite conceivably lead to a situation of where Ukrainian patriots, notice I'm putting quote marks around it, of the Azov type, actually launch a coup against the Jewish traitor Zelensky. That's quite conceivable. It's also not inconceivable that Vladimir Putin looks at the offer, and so that's not enough. Just getting cursed back is not going to satisfy Putin. And if he did go for such a deal, then the same thing would happen to him that I've speculated about with Zelensky. So there's also the possibility, as well as peace in Ukraine, it's also conceivable that if Putin doesn't play Trump's game, if he doesn't agree to Trump's deal, then Trump goes for something like, not the full package, but for something like Zelensky's victory plan. So there's both possibilities there. There's also the possibility, of course, that Harris wins. There's also the possibility that not getting a deal within 24 hours, Trump just carries on with this never-ending war, supplying the money, they keep supplying the arms, with the view of bleeding over a prolonged period Russia white, and eventually triggering some sort of color revolution or palace coup or splitting the regime. There are all these possibilities. In other words, this election really does matter when it comes to NATO and Ukraine. I don't think it matters at all when it comes to the grand strategic plans of the USA. And that isn't about toppling Putin, but it's China that is the United States' main target. A deal with Putin or breaking up Russia, that would be a step in the direction of surrounding China and strangling China. And that is something that Harris, Biden, Trump, the Democrats, and the Republicans all agreed on. Russia, when it comes to the economy, which is ultimately the guarantor of military prowess, it really is a Canada or a Mexico that roughly its GDP is something equivalent to the Netherlands. China is the only serious rival to the United States when it comes to productivity It's still way behind, but there is no other serious challenger. Both sides in the United States are also united when it comes to disempowering the possibility of a united Europe under Germany and France. All we need to do is look at Germany at the moment, and there's talk of it being the sick man of Europe. Some liberal commentators find it very hard to explain the rise of the AfD, and you can explain it through migration, and there'll be a big truth there. But it's also the fact that German industry has been sacrificed on the altar of the Ukraine war. Certainly the left party, Die Linke, has abysmally failed on the Ukraine war, and it's been the right, it's the Alternative for Germany that's championed the anti-war cause. And I would just say again, I know it is speculation, but it is worthwhile speculating on the level that at least displays how fluid the situation is at the present time. It doesn't take too much in terms of imagination to see the fall of the Scholz Social Democratic, Green, whatever coalition, its replacement either by an AfD-led or an AfD bolt-on to a conservative, i.e. CDU coalition, which then says, we don't want to back this war. This war is destructive for the economy of Germany and the German economic space. We want to involve ourselves in a deal, not for the victory of Ukraine, but precisely a deal that restores the delivery of cheap oil, but crucially gas, to German homes and German industry. That isn't inconceivable. And that would, of course, be totally upsetting as far as the United States would be concerned. It would be a godsend as far as Putin was concerned. All these possibilities exist.